Hello students, welcome back to our English classes. So in this class today we will be discussing a new poem. The first poem of your English book, A Photograph. What do you mean by the word photograph? We all know. We click pictures, we click selfies, we click group photographs. So, just after the first chapter, what was the first chapter? The portrait of a lady, and then comes the poem, A Photograph. You can see that both this poem and the chapter are interrelated. The first chapter is about the portrait, means a picture, a photograph. Here also the name of the poem is Photograph. So, it is a photograph. You will get to know about a photograph. The poet Shirley Toulson, an American poet, she has written this poem about her mother. This poem is actually a synopsis of her mother's life. She has written this poem as a tribute to her lost mother. So, here it goes on. It goes on like this. The cupboard shows me how it was. Now listen, the cardboard. Sorry, the cardboard. Now, what is this cardboard? In the very first sentence, it is written, the cardboard shows me how it was. The poet, she has taken a photograph, a cardboard on her hand, and she is talking about that. What is that cardboard? That cardboard is a picture, a photograph, a photo, or we can say, or a photo frame where a picture is there. She has taken that and she is telling, when the two girl cousins went paddling. There were two, in the photograph she has seen, there were two girl cousins, two cousins were there. We all have cousins. There are two types of cousins are there. One who is very close to us and the others who are like strangers to us. I think almost all of you will have some of our cousins who are very close to us. They are like our best friends. So there were, she has seen what? There in the photograph there were two cousins, two girl cousins were there, sisters. They went paddling. What do you mean by the word paddling? Paddling. What do you mean by the word paddling? Paddling, see here, these are the water, less water in the beach you can see. If you go to any seashore or in the sea beach, we can see where there is a little water and people can walk. That little water is known as that where the people walk. When they walk, those things are known as paddling. Here, two girl cousins were there. There were very less water over the beach, over the sea beach, and two girl cousins were paddling, means they were walking. In the where this paddling actually is in the less water. When anyone walks in the less water, that is known as paddling. Means you can just dip your feet, not your leg. Now see, each one holding one of my mother's hand. So she is telling two girl cousins were there and each of them were holding my mother's hand. In between, so this is the rough picture which I have just sketched on. You may laugh at this. You can see there are two girls are there. I have put some long hair so that you can identify these are girls. See, two girl cousins. In between is the poet's mother. In between is the poet's mother. And both these they are girl cousins, and she is the mother of the poetess. Now see, they both are holding the hands of the poet's mother. They are they were both holding the hands, two hands of the poet's mother. Like when we were kids, when we were smaller, we used to go for walk by holding the hands of our parents, by holding the hands of our grandparents, by holding the hands of our uncles, aunts, or brother, sister, or cousins. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. Poet's mother is the bigger one, means she is the eldest out of these three. How many are there? Two girl cousins and her mother, means three girls were there. They were walking on the sea beach. And among the three, the eldest one was the poet's mother, and she was around 12 years old. We don't know the age of the other two sisters. We have got only the eldest one. Her age was 12. That means what? Other two sisters, they will be lesser than the age of 12. All three stood still to smile through their hair. So all of them, she is talking about the photograph, about the exact thing what was there in the photograph. All of them, they were holding the hand of the poet's mother, they were looking still, and they were laughing. As their hair were going up, they were laughing. As I have drawn here, you can able to see their hairs are blown, and they are laughing, they are smiling, and they are looking at the camera. At the uncle with the camera, a sweet face. So there is another person with them, and that was her uncle. Whose uncle? Is the poet's uncle, not her mother's uncle. If it is the poet's uncle, that means what? Is the brother of poet's mother. So there were some other in the sea beach, and it was her uncle. At the uncle with the camera, they were looking, there was the uncle, and he was taking the picture. My mother, that was before I was born. As she was looking at the picture, as she was looking at the photograph, she was looking at the innocence of her mother when she was a kid. How many of you have seen how many of you have actually seen childhood photographs, childhood pictures of your parents? Or if you see, I think most of you have not seen their childhood photographs. You may have seen their college photographs, or you have seen their wedding photographs. If you have seen the wedding photographs of your parents, you will laugh. When you will see now, you will laugh at them. You will say them, this was what you were looking in. Means you will laugh at them. Like this, the poet's mother, when she was looking, when the poet, she was when she has seen her mother in the photograph, she was laughing. How sweet face our mother was having at that time. How innocent she looked. None of us has seen the childhood of our parents. No, we have never seen. Our parents have seen our childhood, but we have never seen their childhood. So we can only see them as a child if we are having a photograph of their childhood. She was having that photograph, and she was looking at it, and she was just assuming how sweet face she was having. And what she is telling, this is the photograph of my mother when she was a child. This is the photograph of my mother when I was not born. Before I had taken birth, this is the picture. This is the picture of that time before I have taken the birth. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Remember this line, and the sea, which appears to have changed less. This line is one of the most important lines of this of the entire poem. What does it mean? When the poet is telling, and the sea, which appears to have changed less. Now see, the natural scenery, the environment, the landscape, the sea, the river, the sun, the moon, the stars. All these things were there before you have taken birth, before we have taken birth, before our parents have taken birth. And these are still there. These are still there at their same position. You can see the river, you can see a river or a sea, a river, for example, the Barak river. It was there before you have taken birth. It was there before we have also taken birth. It was there before our parents are taken, before our parents have taken birth. This river was there from many decades. Our grandparents, their grandparents has seen this river. This natural thing, the gift of the nature, the natural things change less. This river has not changed. It is still there. Only its little tributaries or its size may be little increase or decrease, but this river is there. It was there before many decades ago and it is there till now. What is the poet trying to say is that the sea appears to have changed less. That sea which is there in the photograph, the sea is still there. The sea beach where her mother and her cousins went, that sea beach is still there. And what is she telling? Washed their terribly transient feet. What do you mean by the word transient? Transient means temporary. Remember that. The word transient means temporary. Why she is telling transient feet? Because they were child when they went there. They were kids. The eldest one was 12 years old. The eldest one was 12 years old and they were kids, they were child. That feet, that childhood feet, that childhood, that innocence did not last long. It finished. That innocence, it is the loss of innocence, the loss of childhood. Here the poet is trying to say is the loss of innocence, the loss of childhood. The temporary phase of our life is temporary and every phase is temporary. We were kid once, we were child, then we were little grown up, we were young, then we grow up adult, then slowly we will grow old and one day we will die. Every phase of life is temporary. That is why the poem is telling here that sea, the water which were there on the sea beach has washed their temporary fate. That those days which went on, it will never come back. So the poet is telling that our life is temporary, but the natural things, the natural scenery, the natural, the gift of the nature, these are all permanent. The nature is permanent. The environment, the atmosphere, the river, the sea, the mountains, the sun, the moon, the stars, the sky, everything is permanent. That sky, that sun, the moon, mountains has seen thousands and lakhs of people which we have not seen, and those every year lakhs of people are dying, again lakhs of people are taking birth. So that those things are seen, all these things, but we cannot see that because our life is temporary, and their lost childhood was also temporary. That phase of our life was temporary, but the nature is permanent. That is why the poet is telling, and the sea which appears to have changed less. The sea has changed less. The sea have only changed a little. But where is her mother? Maybe she has grown up. Yes, she must have to be, and she must have to be a grown up lady. She will not be the same 12 years old girl who went on the sea beach. So that the poet is telling, so what we have got in this, from this stanza, we have got that she was having a cardboard, a photograph on her hand. She was looking at the photograph. We have seen there were three girls One is her mother is the bigger one, eldest one, and along with her mother there were two other girls, her mother's cousins, that means what, her aunts. There were again another person in the sea beach who was their uncle. Their uncle was taking the photograph. He was holding the camera, and these two girls, the two cousins, they were holding the hands of the poet's mother, and they were looking still at the camera. They were smiling, and the air was blowing up blowing up their hairs. So what we have got, that her mother was 12 years old, and the poet is, in the last two lines of the first stanza, the poet is trying to say us that the natural things are permanent, while other than the natural things, all are temporary. That was a transient fit. Transient means temporary. That there she is talking about the lost childhood, about loss of innocence, about her loss, about her those days, she is talking about her mother, about the lost days of her mother, which she will never get. Next, coming to the second stanza, some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. "See Betty and Dolly," she would say, "and look how they dress us for the beach." Now listen, we have got something new. The names of the two girl cousins who went with her mother, one is Betty, B-E-T-T-Y, Betty, and the other one is Dolly. So we have got the names of the two cousins, One is Betty, the another one is Dolly. So what the poet is telling, after 20 or 30 years later, you are having a lot of photographs of your childhood. Now you are taking the photographs. What will be your age? Around 15, 16 and 17. That's it. So you are taking lots and lots of pictures. Every day you are taking selfies with your siblings, with your friends, alone. You are taking these days selfie is a trend, and we know it. So you are taking these photographs, and after 20 years later, when you will be a full grown adult, when you will look at these pictures, you will laugh at yourself. You will laugh at the innocence you had at those time. You will reminisce your lost childhood. Now, if you look at the childhood photographs when you were a kid, you laugh at yourself. This is how I used to look. See how our parents, how my mother, how my mom dressed us, and you will just laugh at those things. For some time we will not able to recognize ourselves, and we will say, is it me? Is the picture of mine? So we will be amazed at the photo. We will be amazed by the way we looked at when we were a child. So what she is telling, that after 20 or 30 years later, when she had looked at this photograph, she would have said, she told her two cousins, what were the names? We have found the names of the two cousins are Betty and Dolly. She will call, "See Betty, see Dolly, come here." So all the three cousins, sisters, all of them are grown up lady. After 20 or 30 years later means what? 12 plus 20, 32 or 42 years, when she is a grown up lady, woman, she will say, "Come on, see how they had dressed us." Might be they are looking at themselves, they were laughing at themselves. So this is how we have dressed up for the sea beach. So nowadays we know there are different means attire, different outfits for different festivals. for if we come to the college schools, there are formal dresses, uniforms are there. When you go to the house, there are some comfortable sleepwear dresses, comfortable dresses, and if you go to any wedding party, we dress up with our fancy clothes. Then if you go to our, so will you go on a sea beach, will you go to a sea beach by putting on the fancy clothes which you are putting on a wedding party? No, definitely no. To go to the sea beach, what we know, it's the trend that everyone puts on some shorts and then they go to the sea beach. But here they were looking at their photograph. Why? Because their parents or their uncle who was there with them might have dressed them in such a weird cloth which were not actually meant to go to the sea beach. So they were looking at the way they were dressed up, and they were laughing at the way they were looking, the way they were just they were still at the photograph. They were laughing in their hair were blowing. Then see, the sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Both vary with the levities of loss. What she is telling? That when her mother went to the sea beach, it was her holiday. It was her school holiday when she went to the sea beach. It was her school holiday, and she was enjoying her holidays. She was enjoying her vacations there. And that was her past. Her past was captured in a photograph. If you look at a photograph of our childhood, we will just reminisce, we will just see that this is how I used to look at when I was in my past. So, what she is telling, and mine is her laughter. That laughter, that smile of my mother is the sea holiday is the past, it is a memory of her, and her smile, her laughter is the memory of mine. That smile, that laughter I will never able to see. Both worry with the levities of loss. What she is telling, both had gone with the time. Both her past, her childhood, and she herself, both are no more. Their smiles, her smile is no more, and her childhood is also no more. Now see, now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. So what she is telling? She is the mother, poet's mother. She is telling, she is no more now. She is dead. She vanished from this earth. And she is dead. She died. It might be like this. She died many years ago. She's been dead nearly as many as she lived. How many years she lived? She is dead double the she might be dead double the age. She might be dead the age she was up to the age she lived. So what she is telling, that she is no more now. I cannot see her. I cannot see her smile now. I cannot see her laughter. I cannot see her face. I cannot see her hair blowing in the air. I cannot see her innocence. I cannot see my lost mother. There is not yes, and of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. What she is telling? There is nothing. At this circumstance, this is the situation. We cannot do anything. We have to accept the fact that she is no more. She is healing herself from the memory of her mother, from the memory of a lost mother. So the only thing she can do is weep, cry, remorse. She is lost in the memory of her mother. But the only thing she cannot bring her mother back. The only thing she can do is the acceptance. She has accepted the fact that her mother is no more. But her mother is no more in this earth. But her mother is there inside her heart forever. Inside her heart, her mother is living with her in her heart. Her mother is staying in her heart. And so this memory, her mother's memory flashes over her eyes, inside her mind, in her thought every time. That's the thing what she is telling. It's silence silences. That silence, her mother is no more. That silence is silenced now. She is so silent now. She is talking about herself. The poet is talking about herself now. That she has none to talk. She has none to share her feelings. She has none to share her happy things. She has none to share her sorrow. It was her only mother who used to listen to her, and she is no more. We know mother is the greatest gift of God. Mothers are the greatest gift of God. We cannot even think of a day without mother. Those who are having the mother is the greatest gift. Only those who have lost their mother, they are able to understand how much hurdles they are facing in their life. So here this poem is a tribute a synopsis written by the poet Shirley Toulson about her mother. She has written a small synopsis. She has written to pay a tribute to her mother. What I have said in the very beginning, that the earlier chapter, the portrait of a lady, and this photograph are interrelated. In the portrait of a lady, the author Kushwan Singh, he has written the story in memory of his grandmother, and here a photograph is written by Shirley Toulson in memory of her mother. There, in that chapter, in the portrait of a lady, the Kushwan Singh has written to pay a tribute to his grandmother, and here Shirley Toulson is paying a tribute to his mother. So both the first chapter and the first poem are relatable. So here also we have seen earlier that chapter he has talked about his past and then present, and then his grandmother died. Here also the poet is talking about the past memories of her mother, how her mother used to look in her childhood, and then when she was an old grown lady, she might have called her cousins Betty and Dolly, and they might have laughed at the way they were dressed for the beach. And then she is mourning, she is in great sorrow, she is weeping, she is weeping inside. Her mind is full of the memory of her mother. She is telling that it's over now, my mother is no more, and I have to accept that. If she was there, my life would have been different now. If she was there, my life would not have been so miserable as I am living now. All I could do is pray for her. I love her so much. She loves her mother so much that she has written a whole poem. She has written in memory of that, and she is missing her mother every time. She is missing, and she is lost in the memory of her mother. That her life is so silent now that she cannot. That pain has just creased inside her heart so much that she had no words to tell. She has no words to tell, and this yes, we know we cannot. Means to tell about mothers, we can say lots and lots of things. There will be if you are writing something on our mother, there will be innumerable number of books we can able to write from the beginning of our life. Before we have taken birth, we were there with them, and they have taken care of us so much, and till today we are entirely dependent on our parents, entirely dependent on our mothers. So, she is telling that it's a very short thing. It's a very short thing I can tell about my mother. There are lots and lots of things which I can able to say, but these are the things. This is the memory. This is a small memory of my mother which I am sharing with you. So I think I hope all of you had got a little of this poem written by Shirley Toulson about the memory of her mother. I will tell you to go through this poem once, and to get the gist, for your better understanding, to get the gist of the poem. Till then we will come with some other topic in the next day. Till then, thank you all and bye.